Welcome to the Real in Real Estate, your gateway to the source. I'm so glad you're here. We're all about diving into the nitty-gritty of real estate, sharing insights, tips, and some awesome interviews straight from the industry's beating heart. From the latest trends to cool investment strategies, we've got you covered. Let's explore and uncover all the essential tools and knowledge you need for navigating the ever-evolving world of property and housing. Here we go. Hi, welcome back to the Real in Real Estate, where we talk to the experts, get the facts, dispel the myths. And today I'm here once again with LaTisha Grant. I'm so happy she joined us again. So welcome, LaTisha.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm always excited to be here.
I know you've been on the show before, the podcast, but for those that missed the first episode, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is LaTisha Grant. I am the executive managing broker for TAS Realty Group. I am a Texas affordable housing specialist, and I am just so excited about that particular market and all the things that it has to bring. I operate in many markets, so Sunnyside, City Gas, Acres Homes, where about 90% of my clients are affordable housing clients.
That's a large percentage.
Very,
Now
very.
you're also still on the professional development committee for our local MLS, correct?
That is absolutely correct. I am the chair of professional development for HAR, and that
Wonderful.
has brought about some exciting information and some exciting things. So it kind of puts us in the forefront of the information and the things that are going on within our market.
Yes, and we have a lot going on. Today we're going to talk about buyer representation. Just to remind everyone, we are not attorneys, we're real estate agents. So we are just going to disseminate information to you as we have heard it, and we know it because things are changing. Our field's always changing, and it's changed a lot lately.
Yes, yes. And so speaking of that, I mean, I can recall each time that it's changed, it was as a big of a deal as it is today. So when you think about it, it's like, well, why are we feeling this way again?
Because change is hard for most people. And when
Yeah,
you get into a routine of doing something one way, it's like you slam on the brakes and go, okay, how do I do it now?
yeah. Well, in real estate, we kind of ride on those brakes, right?
Oh, absolutely, along with the market. But I have to say, thank God that real percentage rates are going down, interest rates. So come on,
Absolutely.
buyers.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Okay, well, to start, I guess the biggest change that's going to affect clients, well, and realtors as well, is our process has changed. As a result of the settlement, we now have a different way of doing business, especially where buyers are concerned. And we might as well just start out with the obvious. Buyers, we cannot show you anything, not a single home in person. We can show you whatever you want on the computer. We cannot take you and open a door to a single home without you signing a buyer representation agreement. It's against the rules. We get fined, et cetera, et cetera. This is the new way of doing business. We have two different forms for that, but we are not allowed to show you anything. So don't be yelling at us when we tell you that. It's not our rule, but it's the rule that we have to follow. Correct, LaTisha?
That is correct. So, Jean, let's even talk about that. So, and I'm sure you the same as I. I had not shown a buyer a property without being under some form of a representation agreement since very early on in my career. So, for many
Yes.
of us that have operated underneath that, if you don't allow me to represent you as your agent, I am operating as a sub agent. If for those of us that have operated in that way, that one change didn't spark any true controversy in our field. But I guess now having to communicate that to a buyer is a little bit different. Now it no longer is me. I'm no longer saying, hey, I'm not going
Right.
to show you anything until you have made a decision and committed to me. Now it's a rule. So it just kind of
Yes,
makes it a little bit easier for us to just blame it on something else.
that's true. You're right. The form has always been around, and not everyone used it religiously. Now we must. We now have two forms. We have something called a short form and a long form. Most agents will be using the long form. There will be very few times, I think, that agents or clients will see the short form, but it is there. Um, I'm not even sure how to begin to do this, but basically, as it was before, but again, things were not used religiously, the buyer representation form must be signed, and there is compensation information on the form. So you will have to discuss that with your agent that's showing you the home. And to reiterate, compensation has always been negotiable, and it is still negotiable. It's negotiable between you and your agent. Now they can say, I'm not working for what you want to pay me and walk away. They have every right, just like if you go to an attorney and they say $4.50 an hour and you say, I don't want to pay that, then you leave and go find a different attorney.
That is
But
correct.
hopefully you will stick with the realtor that you trust because they're worth every penny.
That,
Yes.
and you know what? And I'm glad that you said that, because I think that now we talk about value proposition. Now this is for everyone to create their own personal value proposition. So what is your value to this transaction? You know, we all know that it's invaluable, right? So
Oh, yes.
correct. So I look at it like this. There are very few things outside of real estate that I do every day, multiple times a day. So what a
Yes.
client is paying for when they come to you, when they come to me, they're paying for someone that performs this exact same thing multiple times. And it's almost like looking at a master plumber. Well, you know, hey, I prefer to just, you know, have my son go in and make the repair. But
May not
it's
turn out very well.
that's right. That's right. But I'm going to hire the professional, the skilled professional, because I know that that person is actually going to guide the or address the true issue. And in real estate, the issue is not having the ability or the access to property or to homes. So you want to be sure that you hire that person. Now, compensation, again, as you said, it's been negotiable. This is nothing new.
It's not new.
Yeah, but now it's a requirement, right? And why do we have to wait until someone requires us to do something in order to do it? But now, yes, it is negotiable, right? So that's a conversation that you would want to have with your real estate professional. But that does not mean that the seller's not paying it.
And they can still pay if they choose to. There's all, yes, absolutely.
That's the
And
most
I think for
interesting
the,
part.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that was the most interesting part about this whole lawsuit. I started getting these calls, and it's like, oh, LaTisha, I heard that we don't have to pay commissions anymore. I'm like, well, you've always had a choice to pay them or not to pay them.
Absolutely, absolutely. No one forced you to do that.
That is correct.
Which, yeah, I know that is, to me, that's also the very frustrating part because it's always been negotiable. Now, whether your agent wanted to work for less or not, that's up to them. But so is that in any case, like just like with your plumber example, he'll either fix the drain for this amount of money or he's not, one or the
That,
other. You can try negotiating with him. But yeah, it's always been negotiable, and it's frustrating that this whole thing ended up. But it is what it is. Here we are, and it's still just as important to hire a professional realtor as it is a professional plumber, doctor, lawyer, whatever. And not, I'm not comparing myself to an attorney or a doctor, but or a plumber. I can't do any of that. But I do remember, and I've told this story before, the first time I bought a home, I had no idea what was going on. I was literally scared. I mean, because legal stuff just scared me because I didn't know anything about it.
mhm.
And, one thing after another happened, and I hired someone that I didn't know real well. They helped me uh, with the process, and then we get to closing, and they didn't even show up. And of course, there was an issue at closing, and I'm trying to deal with this on my own, and I had no idea what was going on. We did get through it, but I was very unappreciative of having to have gone through that myself because I didn't know what I was doing. And for people that think they can do this on their own, I really caution you not to. This is a lot of information. This is not a show on HGTV. We work these contracts, we work homes, do inspections, appraisals, we don't do inspections, but we help you through the entire process. And there is no way you're going to get every deadline and everything you need to do if you're going to do this on your own. Please don't do this.
Yes, absolutely. Please do not. Please consult, consult, and consult. And it takes us all the way back to what you said. Like when you think about showing up to closing by yourself, I'm sure it was overwhelming and intimidating.
Oh, absolutely.
But
It was.
even before that, oftentimes I'm on the phone with my clients, just talking them through the process. Maybe someone else within this, because you brought up inspectors. Yes, we're not doing the inspections, but oftentimes we're present for the inspectors
Absolutely.
so that they can perform the inspection. But for us, we are that resource in between. So the inspector has told a client something that they don't understand. They think the house is about to fall apart, but that's the inspector's
Yes.
job, right?
That's what you
So
hired them to do, to find every single thing.
that is correct. Well, then where is that consult? The next call that they make, guaranteed, is going to be to their real estate professional.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, the inspector just told me that this house is not going to make it. And the question that you asked, did the inspector actually say that? What exactly did the inspector say? Well, he
Yeah.
found 45 issues. Well, 16 of those issues were the exact same thing in different places.
Yeah, exactly. Or call an electrician because that light doesn't work. Well, the light bulb's probably burned out.
Exactly. But so we are hired to create that level of comfort and almost
Yes.
as a translator. So
Yes, I love that. Absolutely.
so when you think about it, that we play so well, translator, counselor, all the roles that we as real estate professionals play. So let's not let this one document or this one requirement because of a lawsuit make any true adjustments to our field. Now, yes, do I believe that people should be more professional? I absolutely do. Do I
Absolutely. Yeah.
believe that they should be more transparent? I absolutely do believe that as well. So professionalism, transparency, those two things will go a long way. But at the end of the day, it doesn't diminish the role of your real estate professional.
No, not at all. Not at all. I just can't tell you how many things there are in this process that you would not know about if we weren't there to guide you through it.
Yeah,
So
I
many.
I agree.
Yes. But yes, to get back to the documents, those have always been around. People have always needed to use those, whether they did or not. And you need to have that conversation with your agent about what they're going to do for you, how it's going to happen. And it could be that, excuse me, it could be that the seller is still going to pay compensation and you don't have to, but you don't know that until you talk. You don't know that until your agent negotiates. It's a whole process. So please, um, don't panic when you see these forms if you haven't seen them before. If your agent didn't use them before, they're using them now.
Yes. And so in addition to the form, so the lawsuit created almost like a domino effect of things. So
Yes.
the purpose of the document, of course, if it's not written, it can't be opaque. So now we're going to go back to what else can't happen. On MLS, we can no longer advertise commissions. And
Right.
again, I want to make sure I just say this, just scream this from the mountaintops. Just because we cannot advertise something doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So I
True.
may not be able to advertise that I'm paying another agent's commission or that the seller is, but it still exists. But not being able to advertise has created a whole another set of duties of your professional. Because
Absolutely.
now your real estate professional has to pick up the phone and call the other agent. So
Hmm.
it's like, other agents, please answer the phone or inform your office of the information that they need. So when someone calls the office, they can provide them with the information that's needed.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up because as agents, we get so many phone calls every day. It's more important than ever for the agent to answer their phone, text, emails, whatever, because we really need to know this information before we show a house to our buyer. We need to
Yeah.
know what's going on because that affects them, especially first-time home buyers. They may not have the extra cash for our salary, but if we find out the seller's paying, that's great for them.
Exactly. And of course, both agents, because I post more listings than I have buyers, right? So
Yes.
I'll every now and then I'll be on the phone and someone will say, "Well, I tried to tried to get you on the phone. I wasn't able to get you on the phone." I'm like, "Well, what number did you call?" "Well, no, I text you." "Okay, you text me. What number did you text?" Come to find out they text a landline. And
Oh,
I, I
that doesn't work.
Well, are landlines obsolete now? You know, what happened to make us just assume that every phone number that's listed is a cell phone?
I do not know. I do not know. That's unfortunate. And you know what? If that happens, we don't answer, pick up the phone, actually call us.
Yes,
Let's talk, you know?
absolutely. Absolutely. Because we definitely want to know. And again, most of my sellers haven't changed.
Right,
They haven't changed their commission policy. They're still doing everything the exact same way they were before because
right,
they're relying on us as professionals to guide them through because their ultimate goal is what? To get the house sold. That's their ultimate.
right, right. And you know, again, in my opinion, I think there are a lot of people out there that if they're I don't know for sure. This is my assumption. If they find out that the seller is not paying compensation, they're going to go, I don't have the money. Let's not look at that house. So that's hurting the seller because they may get less showings, and it's hurting the buyer because it could be the dream home. You never know.
That is absolutely correct. But when you think about a first time home buyer, as you said before, if they don't have it, and I tell all of my first time buyers, if it's for you, it will happen. Like, you know, those things that are meant to be, the one that you think is the one, you know, when you come across the one that actually is, you'll say, oh my goodness, I thought that was the one for me. It's not, it's this one.
I agree with you. So yes, that happens all the time. Yes, what's meant to be will be,
Yeah.
and you'll probably end up loving the other one. And we're so glad you didn't buy the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. It happens all the time. And
Yes.
who knows that better than a real estate professional?
Oh yeah, because like you said, we're out there every single day. This is not a part-time job. This is a full-time career,
That's
professional career.
absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Well, what else are you hearing out there, LaTisha? Anything else that you've heard so far? I know it's only been a few weeks, but
Just a lot of scramble.
yeah,
So I am hearing a lot of, oh, well, you know, so many agents are going to exit the profession because of this.
it could be.
Um, and it doesn't take a lawsuit for agents to exit the industry, right?
No, no.
When so all things, you know, it's an up and down type of situation. I've also heard, oh my goodness, it's ultimately going to affect the low to moderate income buyer the most, more so than anyone else. And when I hear things like that, again, because I'm a Texas affordable housing specialist and the majority of my business is done in that low to moderate field, my
Yes,
next thing is, what do we do? Let's come together. Let's figure this out. What do we do to
exactly.
ensure that it doesn't happen?
Yeah,
I don't know, and I guess my optimism leads me in a different direction. I believe in what I do. I believe in this career such that is real estate professionals. I
mhm.
100% believe that there is a need, there's a desire, there is a demand,
Absolutely.
right? So because of those things, I'm optimistic about what's going to play out because I can recall when we went from the HUD-1 settlement statement to the CD and the title companies were in an uproar.
Ah,
Everybody thought that it was, oh my God, I gotta wait
the
3 days.
sky is falling.
What happened? We all wait those 3 days. And now for me, the 3 days is a security. So I'm like, okay, well, if I get the CD on this day, then I know for sure I'm closing in 3 days. It's it's nothing. And
No,
it'll be the same thing with this.
yeah, it is what it is. We make it work. We figure it out. It's not, it's going to be fine. But one other thing I wanted to mention too, and see if you agree with me. For someone that says, I'm not signing this form, I'm not giving you a penny, I'm doing this on my own because the other agent that's selling the house, she'll take care of it. Well, guess what? That listing agent does not work for you. She or he works for the seller. Yes, they can do the paperwork. They cannot give you advice. They cannot give you opinion. They can't tell you it's time to do this, it's time to do that. You will be on your own.
Yep.
I just wanted to, do you agree with me? There's no,
I absolutely agree with you. You know, and you brought up an attorney earlier, and we always say it's like showing up to court without representation. And why would
yeah,
you make the assumption that the other attorney is going to represent you in your best interest? Because their job is to represent the other person in their best interest.
absolutely. You can't have the same attorney for both sides.
No,
Doesn't work.
same thing for real estate professionals.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think if more people would understand the true definition of sub agency, then it would cause them to think differently.
Yes, because if we don't work for you, we work for the seller. That's
And
just the way it is.
that's it. It's just that easy.
Yeah. All right. Well, to all our listeners, thank you for listening, and don't panic. As LaTisha says, this too shall pass, and this will be common, and we'll go, what were we ever worried about? But it is a change, and people don't like change. And so that's why we wanted to come on here and just talk about it for a few minutes.
Yeah, I agree. People don't like change.
No. Well, any thing else you want to add before we sign off for today?
No, actually, nothing else. Thank you again for having me. It's always such a pleasure to be here.
Well,
So,
I know you're a very busy agent and broker, and I'm so glad that you took the time to do this again. And we'll think of another reason to bring you back.
no problem. Sounds like a plan to me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Real in Real Estate, your gateway to the source. Be sure not to miss our upcoming episodes loaded with fantastic insights, expert tips, and all the latest trends in the property scene. Don't forget to stay connected with us on our Trilogy Realty Group socials: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and even TikTok. Until next time, take care.